Is that not the look of like, holy crap, it's loud in here. Oh, what are we going to do? What is going on, everybody? It is Jake with Master Football, back at it again. Happy Monday, man. Good Saturday of football, good Sunday of football. Let's go. For those of you who've never been here before, this is Jake with Master Football. Things pro, college, video game football, anything related to American football, we discuss on the show right now. Please, 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 emphasis on the please. Emphasis on the please. Please subscribe to my channel. Hit that red subscribe button. Hit it. Go ahead and do it. Like the channel. Go ahead and share it with your friends. Comment on it. Anything like that, I really much appreciate it. Share it. I just get it out there. Kind of get this thing going. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So there's something that happened this weekend. LSU had a pretty big win over Florida, but something happened the very next day, and it was just like, apparently they had been discussing this for some time. Let's get into this article really quickly. So right here from ESPN, Ed Orgeron won't return as LSU Tigers football coach in 2022 as AD says it's time for new direction. So again, this comes, apparently they had been discussing it for some time, even though they just beat Florida at home, doing pretty well. You have to remember here, LSU, since they won the national championship with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and all those guys, the last two seasons combined, they've gone 9-8. Clearly not the national championship team that you would envision they would be. I mean, remember, this is January of 2020 up until now, and they're like, all right, so hasn't gone too well for LSU since then. They're clearly talented, and I think that Ed Orgeron is unique in his own way. I mean, obviously, with clips like this, you can definitely tell he's his own guy.
We're coming. We're coming. And we ain't backing down.
They ain't backing down.
I feel good about Jamar Chase. I feel good about Justin Jefferson.
I
feel good about Terrace Marshall. From Destrehan, Louisiana. Hold on a second.
Hold on a second.
Hey, guys. Hey, I'm having a press conference, okay? Thank you. Feel good about our backups. Feel good about our tight end.
Feel good about our
quarterback. I feel good about our two running backs.
Why this much emotion, Coach?
Well, it's such a big game. They beat us for 8 years. I got tired of hearing that stuff, man.
Look at this sweaty mess in this game.
Team tonight. We draw the line. We had enough. Here we come.
We draw the line. Here we come.
It'll be not too much of a celebration to beat Arkansas. They haven't beaten anybody in a long time. I can't thank our crowd so much. We came to the Tiger Walk. There must have been 30,000 people there.
He is the ultimate LSU head coach. He is as Cajun as it gets.
Wanted to get bigger. I'll stop.
Okay.
Hey!
Okay, it sucks that we're going to miss a couple of those clips and things like that, but ultimately LSU has decided to depart from their head coach. There also is a couple other head coaching positions out there that are either on the hot seat or close. I wanted to actually discuss them. I want to discuss my top 5 potential head coaching positions in terms of the value that they bring and how valuable they are. I think that in terms of like if you had a choice of which one you wanted to pick, you go 5 through 1. This is what I would do. Now remember, this is potential. I am going to leave USC off this list. I'm going to leave this as potential. I am going to include LSU though, just because we're just talking about them right now. I want to rank them in this list. I am leaving USC off this list because they've already fired their head coach. Let's get into that list right now. So right now, it looks like Justin Fuente at Virginia Tech is kind of the administration, the fan base is kind of getting a little worried there. They had a good win over UNC week 1 of that first game of the season, but they just really haven't done a lot since. And I know that they've kind of waned ever since they did a couple years ago. But right now, I mean, let's think about this program. So Virginia Tech, the last time they appeared in the national championship, they have no national championship victories, but they did have one appearance. So it says right here, Florida State 11-0 played at Virginia Tech, and they won 46-29. So this is when they had Mike Vick at quarterback. And again, you needed a top flight generation type talent for Virginia Tech to get there. But again, they were still able to get there, get to the national championship, did not pull out the victory though. So that brings me to my first point about them is that they are very close to recruiting hotspots. That Virginia Tech, so Virginia is kind of in Blacksburg, which is kind of in the mountains of Virginia, kind of the Appalachian Trail, still close to D.C., close to Tennessee, close to North Carolina, close to the Seven Cities area, in terms of Norfolk and Virginia Beach and things like that. So they're really, really high recruiting abilities. But also with them too is that they have a dominant home field advantage. I'm going to share a video really quickly that just displays how cool it is to play at Lane Stadium. So this is from VT Phil. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the description. Go ahead and subscribe to them. I'm going to just subscribe myself right now. Look, I subscribed. Okay, but again, go in and subscribe to him. But check this video out. This is just so cool. awesome. Hold on. Is that not the look of like, holy crap, it's loud in here. What are we going to do? And ultimately, they did actually win that game. North Carolina comes in ranked, and they lose at Virginia Tech. The issue with Virginia Tech is it doesn't have the program tradition as the other schools does. It is in the ACC, so it helps out with the scheduling. Again, ACC schedule, getting to the national championship. If you win your conference, you should have an opportunity to go. I actually like that program, but again, I'm going to put them 5 out of my top 5 potentially available programs. All right, number 4 is the Miami Hurricanes. So the Miami Hurricanes are, man, they're the ultimate in terms of, wasted potential right now. So if you look at them right now, so they currently have Manny Diaz as the head coach. Hasn't really done a lot this season. Got blown out by Alabama in week 1. But if you look at them really quickly, last championship was in 2001, one of the most dominant teams ever. You continue from there. They are in some of the most fertile recruiting grounds in the country. Florida is one of the most dominant football recruiting grounds in the country. And again, close to Georgia, close to the South, basically in the South, in Miami. It's awesome to see how many good players are from the Miami-Dade County region. I had this thing here. So they absolutely owned cool. Okay, you have to remember something here. Now I think they have Adidas right now, which sucks. But this is what Miami used to look like. For anybody who doesn't know this, these visors were so cool. So that's Sean Taylor. Okay, R.I.P. Okay, but it was just so cool that this right here, this was the look. That orange. Sometimes they have the green. They just looked so damn cool. They absolutely owned it for a while. I mean, even in like 2003, 4, 5, 6, even after that, they wouldn't win the national championship, but they were still the most swaggiest team out there. I miss this look. I miss that team, I miss them being good. They have amazing history. They have fertile recruiting grounds. They have great facilities. I mean, they play at the Miami Dolphins home stadium. It's really, really awesome. Where they're held back, and I want to have Kirk Herbstreit bring it up where they're held back. They're held back by their administration. So right here from Fox News, former Miami members want to meet with administration over lackluster program. Miami is a far cry from their national championship runs. So this is from Nick Geddes from Outkick, and he basically states down here that, Benny Blades, former player for the Miami Hurricanes, said that for me personally, it's unacceptable that Canes football is not a national powerhouse. I recently requested a meeting with Julio Frank and Canes All Access together. Productive change is what's needed for Canes football, and I want to be well involved. There's nobody better that's going to describe this than Kirk Herbstreit. Just go ahead and just listen to this. He's going to break down the exact situation as to why Miami is just not where they are or where they should be.
Think about with the Orange Bowl gone, the student body has to drive 45 minutes to go to their games. You have an athletic department that clearly is not really showing that this is something that they are willing to try to make changes.
Nope.
The president, there was an article from Barry Jackson this week that came out, said that the president basically told Blake James, the AD, hey, sports, you're on your own. That's your thing. I don't know if that's true. It was in an article. To me, college football, you look at the powerhouse programs, Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, president, AD, head coach, same vision. Have all the same, they're aligned in their vision for what needs to happen, recruiting, budget, staff, whatever it means, that's what it takes. Miami doesn't have that. So I don't think it matters who the head coach is until you get a president and an AD and a coach together on the same page.
Yep.
I guess football doesn't matter. It matters to the alums, to the brotherhood of the U.
Right.
But I don't know if it matters to the people making decisions.
100%. It's the thing that you have to remember for these athletic departments is that if they don't have support, if your athletic department and your president of your university does not want to be good at football, you won't be good at football. You might be accidentally good at football, but you won't be consistently threatening at football. And it looks like Miami right now, their emphasis is not getting back to those good old Miami days, those crazy Hurricane defenses, the high fly and one back offense. It just looks like they don't really care about that anymore. And that's why this program, I feel like, is the 4th best on this list. All right, number 3 for me is the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Now, okay, Scott Frost. I actually think that Scott Frost is going to get a chance post Adrian Martinez. I watch a lot of games. I have a friend who's a Nebraska fan, and I think that they're kind of in a situation where he's the best quarterback that we have, but we're severely limited by this quarterback. And, you look at that team. I mean, I've been there before. I went to one game last year. Incredible facilities, diehard fan base. Okay, diehard fan base. The Sea of Red is awesome to go see that game. You think about them, amazing tradition. National championship, the last one they had was in 1997. They got pretty easy scheduling. If you look at the Big Ten West, I mean, they've got, They've got Illinois in there. They lost to them. They've got Wisconsin's a good program, but Wisconsin can be up and down. Minnesota can be up and down, although they lost to Minnesota. Iowa is good right now, but they just lost to Purdue. You think about that. I mean, there's Northwestern's kind of down right now. There's plenty of opportunities to win that division, but they just haven't done it. Another thing too, and the reason why I put them ahead of Miami is I know that the administration wants to win. There's a lot of pressure on Scott Frost right now. Okay, there's a lot of fans out there for Nebraska that are not really happy about how things have been going for them. Hey, moral victories when you're that big of a program and you're that big of an athletic budget. But for them, the thing that hurts them is that they're not really in recruiting territory, okay? Omaha might have some players every once in a while, maybe close to St. Louis or Chicago, I don't really know, but it's not in fertile recruiting territory. That's why they have to go down to Florida and Texas and recruit. They can do that pretty well, but it is more difficult to do that, which is why I'm going to put them below this next team. Okay, so the second best program that could be available, and again, I'm going to say is the LSU Tigers. The reason why I'm going to say the LSU Tigers, national championship in 2019, okay, they have a really unique home, situation. Okay, they play at Death Valley. Okay, it's just a wacky place to play. Especially if you play them that night game at Death Valley is always wild. Who knows? LSU could be 0-11, but they can come in there and beat the number one team in the country. That's how good of a home field advantage it is for them. And then continuing for there too, amazing recruiting ability. I want to bring up this list really quickly to show you how the state of Louisiana actually is a pretty good spot for recruiting. So here we are on discover.hub pages. It's the U.S. states with most Hall of Famers in the NFL. If you couldn't continue down here, basically says per capita ranking. So they had a little score that they had. And so they had Mississippi was number 1. And then they have down here, they have Louisiana's number 2, Arkansas's number 3. They're in between all of those. Okay, if you see that, it's actually really efficient when they recruit people who are close by, recruit people from New Orleans, recruit people from Mississippi, recruit people from Arkansas. They have a pretty good job at doing all of that. They're in prime recruiting territory. Texas is right there. Florida's not too far. It's a great spot to be. Another thing too with them is on the positives is, okay, you've got the best conference. You're in the SEC. It's the best conference. Okay, you come here, you're going to be on the national stage on a consistent basis. Now, the only drawback to that is you're going to be playing the best teams on a consistent basis. You think about having to play Texas A&M, even Ole Miss is good, Alabama, Georgia is the other division team. You just invited Oklahoma. Texas is all right. But you just invited Oklahoma into your league. So it's your road to the national championship. If you go there, you absolutely earn it. But it is so hard every single year. And that's why, and this is a little bit of a shocker here, but I feel like the top program that could be available is the Florida State Seminoles. So right now, Mike Norvell, he's out there. He's had an issue. They got off to an 0-4 start. They lost to Jacksonville State, which is bad. Jackson State, I'm sorry, Deion Sanders, that's where he's at. But think about this team, okay, 2013 national championships, deep south. They're in the deep south and they're in Florida. They're in the Florida Panhandle. So they can recruit from Miami. They can recruit from New Orleans. They can recruit from Georgia. They can recruit from Atlanta. They could do anything like that. They're very, very prime recruiting territory. Okay. Awesome stadium. If you've ever been to Doak Campbell Stadium, it's an awesome stadium. Also, the ACC schedule that they get to play, not nearly as tough as an LSU that has to go through a bunch of dogs, but ACC scheduling, awesome program, in terms of the home stadium. The administration wants to be good. The thing that really hurts them right now is that there's a little bit of a funk going over them. A couple years ago, Boise State played at Florida State. They got down to a 21-3 deficit at the first quarter. But you could tell that when Boise State scored, there's almost this malaise over the program. And it just felt like, oh no, are we going to lose this thing again? Are we going to lose this thing again? They had that bowl game record that was snapped the year before. And ever since then, they feel like they've kind of just lost their edge. Think about that, though. Prime recruiting territory, ACC schedule, okay? You've got an amazing stadium. You've got an administration that wants to win, but just haven't quite done it. I feel like they are the best program out of those in terms of possibly getting to a national championship and going on from there. So I'm sure that you guys are going to have opinions on this one, but go ahead and let me know. Get in the comments. What am I right about? What am I wrong about? Who is on the hot seat that shouldn't be? Who did I say is on the hot seat is probably going to stay? Let me know about all that. Also, let me know which programs you think are the best ones that could be available in this next offseason. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, share, anything like that. I really appreciate it. But without further ado, I'm going to let this thing go. I'll see you guys tomorrow.